Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitaniya Caritamta, Adi Leela, chapter 8, text 9. Krishna nahi mane, tade daitya kare mane, Chaitanya na mane le, taiche daitya tare jane. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One who does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly a demon. Similarly, anyone who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna, the same Supreme Lord, is also to be considered a demon. We may say, oh my God, what's happening? Why is somebody being called a demon? You know, what do you mean if I don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord, I'm a demon? And if I don't accept Lord Chaitanya as Krishna, as the same Supreme Lord, I'm a demon. Well, we are not saying this. Krishna himself says that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says there are only two types of living entities, the devotees and the demoniac. So we may say, oh, well, what to do? I'm not a devotee, but I'm not a demon either. But this is what Krishna is saying. So we should try to become devotees. Actually, the original position of every living entity is that we are all devotees. It's simply we have forgotten. We have simply forgotten our eternal relationship with Krishna. We are thinking we are the bodies. We have forgotten we are spirit souls, eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. Formerly, there were kings like Jarasandha who strictly followed the Vedic rituals and acted as charitable, competent Kshatriyas, possessed all Kshatriya qualities, and were even obedient to the Brahminical culture, but who did not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Jarasandha is known to be a very charitable person, very charitable, and he would follow all the duties that were required for the Kshatriya, and he was, very, as he said here, obedient to the Brahminical culture. But he was still called a demon. Why? Because he did not accept Krishna as God. He was always fighting with Krishna. 17 or 18 times he went to have war with Krishna. Jarasandha attacked Krishna many times, and each time, of course, he was defeated. Like Jarasandha, any man who performs Vedic rituals but does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered an asura or demon. Similarly, one who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself is also a demon. Now, someone will say, oh my God, this is fanaticism. What do you mean? But the idea is, of course, we have all forgotten Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, the demon lives within us. You know, in Satyuga, the demons used to live on a separate planet. Then in Treta Yuga, the demon started living in the same planet, but a different country, like Ravan was in a different country than the others. In Satyuga, they were in a different planet. Hiranyakashipu was in a different planet altogether. Then in Dwapar Yuga, the demons started living in the same family, like Duryodhana and the Pandavas. In Kali Yuga, where does the demon live? The demon lives within us. So we have both the demoniac side and the divine side. Both are within us. It just depends who do we encourage. You know, who do we want to get inspiration more from? Which of our personality do we want to make more prominent? So Krishna has left behind the Bhagavad Gita for us. He's left behind the Srimad Bhagavatam for us so that we can develop a divine nature. This is a conclusion of authoritative scriptures. Therefore, both so-called devotion to Gaura Sundar without devotional service to Krishna and so-called Krishna Bhakti without devotional service to Gaura Sundar are non-devotional activities. If one wants to be successful on the path of Krishna consciousness, he must be thoroughly conscious of the personality of Gaura Sundar as well as the personality of Krishna. So Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That same Lord Krishna came 500 years ago as Lord Caitanya. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna are non-different. He's the supreme original God. Krishna is the original God. He himself came again 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya. Why did he come? To give us the Yuga Dharma. What is the Yuga Dharma? Chanting of the holy names. It is mentioned in all the Vedas, that in the Kali Yuga, the path of perfection is by chanting the holy name. So here, what is being pointed out is that we have to understand the position properly of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So if we say, no, I'm a devotee of Krishna, but I'm not a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, does not make sense. It's the same person. Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya is the same person. No, only the mood is different. Lord Chaitanya came in the mood of a devotee, whereas Krishna's mood is always of the enjoyer. Knowing the personality of Gaura Sundar means knowing the personalities of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is the Pancha Tattva. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, that's the Lord himself. Prabhu Nityananda, that is Balaramji. Sri Advaita. Sri Advaita is the incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. Gadadhar is the incarnation of Srimati Radharani. Srivas, incarnation of Narad Muni. He's representing the Jivatmas, the living entities. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, all the devotees of the Lord. So this Pancha Tattva, we have to understand that God is never alone. He's there with his expansions, with his incarnations, with his energies. His internal energy, his marginal energies, everyone. This is complete. God is never alone. Prabhupada would give the example that the king is never alone. The president is never alone. He's always with his entourage. Similarly, God, when he comes, he does not come alone. He comes with his expansions, his devotees, his energies. So the author of Sri Caitanya Caritamta, pursuant to the authority, stresses this principle for perfection in Krishna consciousness, so that we don't misunderstand the position of Lord Chaitanya. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Caitanya Caritamta, is helping us to understand this point. Morena manile sabaloka habenash iti lagi kripardra Prabhu karila sannyas. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, unless people accept me, they will all be destroyed. Thus the merciful Lord accepted the sannyas order. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you just become my devotee, offer your obeisances unto me, and you will come to me. So the mode of Lord Chaitanya is Audarya. He's very merciful. Mahavadanyaya. Very, very merciful. He wants all of us to go back home, back to Godhead. He wants all of us to experience love of God. So what did he do? He took the sannyas order. Because in India, 500 years ago, when Lord Chaitanya was there, the sannyas order was very much respected. If anyone saw a sannyasi, they would automatically offer obeisances to them. And so, by offering obeisances to Lord Chaitanya, they're offering obeisances to Krishna, and they would get delivered. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, Text 51, it is said, Kirtanad eva Krishnasya dasanga param vraje. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra or Lord Krishna's name, one is liberated and goes back home, back to Godhead. So if we want to know how we can get liberated in this age of Kali, what we have to do, we just have to chant the holy name. We just have to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and we can get liberated and we will go back home, back to Godhead. It's not only in Kali Yuga actually. We can see even Dhruv Maharaj, he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. Of course, he was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But that was the mantra that was given to him by Narad Muni, his spiritual master. We are given the Hare Krishna mantra. All the Vedas are saying, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatira. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, in this age of Kali, the only way to perfection is chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. The repetition is not because it's a mistake, but to put emphasis on the point. So by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we will go back home, back to Godhead. This Krishna consciousness must be achieved through the mercy of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. One cannot be complete in Krishna consciousness unless he accepts Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates as the only means of success, for success. So understanding Krishna is very, very difficult. It's not easy to approach Krishna. It's not easy to understand Krishna. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who's Krishna himself, but he came in the form of Lord Chaitanya. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, by the mercy of Panchatattva, it has become so easy to understand Krishna. It has become easy to develop our love of Krishna, love of God, which is there in everyone's heart. We simply have to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. We simply have to receive the mercy of the Panchatattva. It is because of these considerations that the Lord accepted sannyas, for thus people would offer him respect and very quickly come to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Since Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, inaugurated the Krishna consciousness movement, without his mercy, one cannot be elevated to the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness. So this Sankirtana movement, the Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada says that Lord Chaitanya is the founder of this movement, of the Krishna consciousness movement. And so we need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. We need his mercy to engage in hearing and chanting. It is by his mercy that we are able to hear and chant. He has made it available for us. Otherwise, what is our qualification? We don't have the qualification to chant the Lord's names or to read this valuable scriptures like Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. But Lord Chaitanya is the one who is giving this to us. And by his mercy, we are able to do it. We simply need to receive the mercy and go back home, back to Godhead. Is that all right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Caitaniya Caritamta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.